We've all had those aha moments that change our lives. But the one we're talking about today is truly astonishing because this aha moment has led to the recovery of over 5,000 alcoholics and addicts. Welcome to the WTF podcast, friends. My name is Molly Smith, and I'm on a mission to equip 1 million people with the tools to recognize when they're in the funk, but more importantly, how to pivot out of it. By tuning in today, you have joined me on this mission, and I am so grateful that you are here. My guest today is known as the Gordon Ramsay of the addiction world. Direct, no nonsense, and not afraid to tell people what they need to hear. Dr. Robb Kelly went from being a successful professor to losing everything to addiction, then ultimately rebuilding his life in a way that now helps thousands of people find recovery. And the aha moment that set this whole thing in motion happened at a liquor store checkout counter. So whether addiction has touched your life directly or you've watched somebody you love struggle, this conversation is going to give you a completely different lens on what's going on beneath the surface and what it actually takes to break free. Please join me in welcoming the addiction doctor, Dr. Robb Kelly, to the WTF podcast. Hey, Rob.
Oh, thank you, Molly. Great to be here, guys. Thank you, Molly, for having me on.
Yeah, I'm so glad. This is going to be such a good conversation. But I want you, just to kind of set the stage, I want you to take us back to the day that you were standing outside the liquor store, waiting for the shopkeeper to open it up. And here's what I want to know. What did that version of you believe about yourself in that moment?
Well, stood outside the store, just picture this, guys. It's pouring down with rain. It's pouring down with snow. I have a vest on, a pair of shorts, flip-flops, and I'm sweating and shaking profusely. I couldn't even talk. So for those who don't know, that's called a delirium tremens. And it basically means if I don't get alcohol or hospital in the next hour or so, I'm probably going to die. It was that serious, guys.
Mhm.
And the guy in the shop, Pakistani guy, beautiful guy, not supposed to serve liquor till 10 a.m., even though he sold newspapers at 7 a.m. But he knows who I am. He must know about alcoholism. He let me in. I'm walking to the counter as usual. I put my £10 on the counter, and he puts the bottle on the counter. And for some unknown reason, which I still don't know today, this is what happened. I held the bottle and didn't take the cap off. I held the bottle. Sweats went, shaking stopped. Voice was back to normal. Headache went immediately. And it was like a movie because in slow motion, I looked at the shopkeeper and I looked back at the bottle and I went, oh my God, it's not about the alcohol. And and the feeling for me outside was devastation. I want to die. I hate my life. This is not good anymore. And the moment I grabbed that bottle, it was like I'd found the key to the universe because I knew it wasn't about the alcohol. I knew the brain wasn't hardwired back 30 something years ago. And I was like, but now I still stayed on the streets for another 6 months and I still died twice on the streets after that. And I drank myself to death on 2 occasions and they brought me back to life. And I hated those guys. But I always go back when I got off the streets, it's straight back to there. It's not about the alcohol. How do we go around researching, testing and trialing that? And that's what we've done for 30 years.
Wow. Okay. So after that aha moment, you still stayed on the streets, steeped in your addiction for 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
What actually got you? What did your recovery look like? And what was the turning point that you were like, okay, I'm going to work on this problem?
Well, I didn't, is the quick answer. I
Okay.
was done. I remember walking down.
Mhm.
So the outskirts of Manchester, there's a place where it's called an industrial estate. It's only offices and factories.
Mhm.
No human beings inside at 2 o'clock in the morning, no cars and nothing. It's pouring down with rain. I dropped down to my hands and knees and I was crying, but it was crying from that stomach, really sobbing and sobbing and
Yes.
sobbing. I'm on my hands and knees and I remember the rain hitting the back of my head and coming round to my eyes and mixing with my tears and hitting the floor on the cobbles like a purple collar. And I wasn't crying because I've lost everything, including my 2 little babies, houses, cars, practice, everything at home. I was crying right there and then because I realized I couldn't stop drinking.
Mm.
And it took all of that. And as an atheist, because in my early days with my priest, terrible things happened. I
Mhm.
looked up to the sky and I said this, if there's a God up there, I can't do this on my own anymore. And then a guy walked around the corner in the middle of nowhere. 30 seconds later, not even next day, 30 seconds later, he walked around, little Bible in his hand. He's missed his last bus home from a Bible study. So he'd missed the bus. He's walking at this crazy hour because it's taken him an hour or something to walk. He took a shortcut that he's never taken before and he came upon me. And that's not the crazy part. He came upon me and he said, come back to the house. Da, da, da. And that, looking back, is where my recovery started. Even though it got crazier when I met a guy called John. But yeah, that's where it was. So it was no effort. The amount of times I've got up and go, that's it. I'm not drinking. My babies are crying. My wife's crying, doesn't want me to drink, but I still drank. And,
Yeah.
and that was the thing when I came off the streets that I was angry at. Why can't the medical fraternity tell me what's wrong with me? Because they all said, just stop drinking because of your kids. And I couldn't do that. I'm
Yeah.
an educated guy, was also a tough guy. I grew up on the projects. I can fight. I can with the best of them. But this kept getting me. And I wanted to know why. Nobody had the answer. And that's one of the reasons that we've spent $1.8 million on research, trials, and tests. Also, the point
Yeah.
we have a 98% success rate with over 11,000 patients. It's like I got really angry and serious about this. And I still am. I fire people during the program, movie stars, rock stars, road sweep. I don't care who you are. You don't follow the program, I ain't got time for you. And FYI, there's no refunds.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's just talk about the person who walked around the corner in an industrial section where people are not at in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I'm a deeply spiritual person, and I absolutely believe in God, the universe, divine, creating these moments in our times of need. Those things happen. So this guy brought you in, and that started your path to ultimately recovering from
Yeah.
alcoholism. Okay. How long did that process take for you?
It took 12 weeks. See what happened is strap on your seat here, Mike. Oh, we,
Okay.
we guarantee we guarantee you'll feel better within an hour with me. Period. We're the only company in the world that offer you a money back guarantee if that's not the case. We're the only company in the world that does that.
Wow.
So I'm at Derek's and he said, tomorrow night I've got to go to AA or tonight, whatever it was. And I said, oh, Derek, I've been to AA. Is it okay to stay at home? And he looked at me and he said, Rob, I can't have you drinking in the house. I'm a recovering alcoholic, but I'm also, a Christian. If you don't come, I've got to ask you to leave. So my thought pattern were it was a dry bed for the night. So I'm going. And when I was there, the usual BS started around the room. Everyone's sharing about the woes and the torment. And this guy said, my name's John and I'm a recovered alcoholic. And I looked at him, I looked back at Derek and I said, what did he just say? And Derek said, he said recovered. And I'm like, you can't recover from this. What?
Yeah.
And I listened to him and he made sense.
Mhm.
Like everything we talked about was in that big book of AA. And he talked about God a lot, which people didn't like. So after the meeting, I went over to him and I said, hey, John, my name's Rob. Would you sponsor me? And he said, no. And just before the whole world swallowed me up of embarrassment, he said, I will be a spiritual advisor for 12 weeks. So he asked me to go around to his apartment every Wednesday. I had to get there for 7 and leave at 8. That's what he told me. Bring one of the big books and a dictionary. And I said, hey, John, I went to college. I don't need a dictionary. And he said, bring a dictionary. Okay.
Okay.
So for 12 weeks, I left Derek's at 6. I got there for 7. I could not go up into his apartment until 7. I could not knock on the door. That was the rules. Don't come up at 5-2. So I thought he had somebody in there with him. So 1 minute to I'd make the 3-story up and I'd knock on the door and he brought me in and we talk about all sorts of amazing, crazy stuff at the time. And that I've been chosen and to carry around the world. And I'm like, I'm in this guy's house on a bullet mattress in the basement. Nobody knows where I am. But at 1 minute to 8, mid-conversation, Molly, you'd get up and go, okay, Robert. That's what he used to call me back in England. Come on, it's time to go. And I'm like, do you want to finish the cup? Nope, come on, let's go. Bid me a good night, close the door. 12 weeks I did that. On the last day with John, he said, you're going to change the world. From tomorrow, your life will change. And again, I said, I'm in the guy's basement, that. And he smiled at me and he closed the door behind me. Now, I noticed a couple of things. And one of those things was I walked home a little bit different. Instead of all this that I'd done for most of my alcohol, I started to put my chin up. I was like
Mm,
walking with a kind of a bit of a step. It's the weirdest thing. I got home, went to bed, got up next morning. Derek went to work. I was cleaning the house and stuff. And he came home at lunchtime, which is not like him. And he said, hey, the guy at the factory, the guy that sweeps the floor, he's just resigned. Do you want a part-time job? And I'm like, yeah, awesome. So I goes there, met everybody. It turned into a full-time job. So not thinking about John, but when I got my pay packet a couple of weeks later, um, I went to the gas station and I bought John a little teddy bear. Molly, it was only like this. That's all I could afford. And I
sure.
got a card and I wrote the card, Dear John, thank you for introducing me to God because he, with a capital H, took the compulsion to drink away. And I sealed it and I almost running around to his apartment because I can't wait to get to his house and tell him that everything's amazing that's happening, you know? People are
Yeah.
getting well. I'm working with people. I'm telling this stuff that they can't see in the book and about God. And it was just amazing. And when I got there, the apartment obviously was there, but the net curtains were a little dustier. I remember that. And I'm like, John, you got to clean your curtains. Because I used to go at 7, not in the middle of the day. So I knocked on the door and I couldn't wait. And there's no answer. So I'm knocking on the door and the woman on the right-hand side come out and she said, hey, can I help you? And I said, yeah, where's John? He's not moved, has he? She said, John who? I said, John, she said, oh, I'm on nights. I don't really see anybody.
Oh,
I said, okay. So boldly, I went to the left-hand apartment and I knocked on the door and this big guy come to the door. What do you want? I said, can you tell me where John is? Have you seen him? Has he moved? And what's going on? He said, John who? I said, John, your neighbor. What is wrong with you guys? The neighbor next door. I've been here 12 times. I know. He went on to tell me that that apartment was derelict and it has no floor. And if I was to walk in, I'd drop 3 flights and probably kill myself. I'm thinking these two guys are on drugs or alcohol. So I goes back to the meeting the next day and hoping that somebody would recognize me. And as I walked in, the chairman went, oh my God, Rob, good to see you. And I'm like, thank God for that. They're going to go insane here, them crazy guys on drugs and stuff, you know. I says, what time does John get here? And he said, John who? And I said, John, he shared, and we're over near the coffee machine, and I'm saying 12 weeks. And so, and he smiled. He went, Rob, you was over near the coffee machine speaking to yourself. We thought you were praying. Never found that man. And when I started to get wealthy, I put the best private detective agency that money could buy. Still can't find him. Never heard of him since. But what he taught me is what I preach and teach. You see these in the background? They don't mean nothing. And John told me that God told him to go around the world and guarantee people can recover. And that's why we have the money back guarantee that if you come to us in the first hour, you will change. And if no, we will bid you a good day and give you money back. And that was the story with John. So I hid that for years, Molly. I would not tell that story for 15 years. And then one day somebody was on a radio station I was on, and he said he'd had this spiritual awakening. So I shared that John story. And I was expecting people to comment, you're crazy and all that stuff. Molly, the amount of people that text
yeah.
me and called me and said, I've had the same thing. Oh my God. So I started telling the story, but that's how all of this came around.
Oh my gosh. What a
Yeah.
story. I cannot believe
No.
it. Oh my gosh. I mean, I do believe it. I do believe it
Yeah.
because I absolutely believe in those things. And that is like, I'm literally a little bit speechless. Okay. I want to come back just a second. Like when you started helping people, what did you realize that most people were missing about addiction? What's that missing piece that you see so often with the people that you work with?
That alcohol, so we deal with alcohol, drugs, depression, PTSD, Alzheimer's, and anxiety. We deal with all of them. The program's the same for everybody. But let's go to alcoholics and addicts for a second.
Sure.
They don't realize a couple of things. That alcoholics are born and drug addicts are made, and
Mm,
that alcohol has 1% to do with alcoholism, and the same with every other addiction. It's not about the cake, the phone, the porn, it's not about none of that.
Right.
And people are aghast. And secondly, that you can 100% recover and get your life back. Whether that looks like being a millionaire or
Mm.
getting your kids back for the weekend, it's 100% true because all my guys are recovered alcoholics and addicts and stuff who work for me around the world. We have five offices around the world, Switzerland, Spain, Manchester, and London, every one of them, because I don't think you can help somebody if you've not been through what they're going through,
Yes,
you know. So
absolutely.
I had somebody come to me that I've never smoked, that couldn't stop smoking. So I smoked for 2 weeks to try and find out what they were going through so we could treat them. So yeah, same with anxiety, depression. They just realize that, that they're stuck there and this is the way of life. And, when you get talking to them, the weirdest things happen, Molly. Like somebody will come in and I say, "Hey, how you doing, Mrs. Smith?" "Oh, not good. This will be the first appointment." "Well, I'm so depressed. I'm suicidally depressed." And
Mm.
I just do. I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How long have you been depressed for?" And she said, "It's around 5 years now." "5 years, Mrs. Smith? Oh my, do you take anything for that?" "Yeah, I take Wellbutrin." "How long you been on Wellbutrin?" "About 3 years." "When did you think it's going to kick in?" Because
Huh.
it hasn't kicked in yet and you're still
Right.
taking it. So
Right.
depression down to low serotonin and the past, anxiety, look at your diet and what we're eating, the methylation pertaining to the diet
Yep.
and the future. It's that you have to live in today. Okay. I'm lucky. I get my day last night, 6 o'clock. My assistant will send my day over, which is good. But I want to share something that nobody knows and have never shared because it's only just happened. Okay.
Tell me.
2 days ago, I went to the doctor and my PSA levels, people who don't know what PSA is, it's the levels that they look at prostate cancer. And mine has trebled over the last couple of months. So me and my wife always go together for our checkups. He called me in separately, which he never does. And he told
Mm.
me this news and he was sad and he was looking down. And he just said, "Rob, just be prepared. The numbers are not good, Rob." So I go in on, I think it's Monday or Tuesday, I go in to see the urologist. But the reason why I say that is I'm living in today. I'm not
Yeah.
going to go all, oh, wow, or oh my God. It makes no difference. I remember I do a talk Saturday morning in a homeless shelter. And I always go in gung ho, get them all riled up. Amazing, let's do it. And my dad died the night before. We got the call from England, or maybe 2 nights before, to say he passed away. And I went Saturday morning, I did what I do. I was distraught. I was sad. I just got
Yeah.
in contact with him after so many years, and then he passed
Mhm.
away. But nobody knew in that Saturday morning meeting that my father had passed because it's none of their business. I'm not going to
Mhm.
turn up and give you my woes. I'm going to turn up and inspire you today.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
brain is so clever, so complicated that people don't know. They just think, well, this is it. It's not it. It's old behavior with childhood trauma and enmeshment and learned behavior from parents. Don't be so stupid, Robert. You can't go to college like your brother. You're too stupid. That's what I got told, man.
Oof.
And that became a core belief. And everyone has core beliefs that they self sabotage anything that's going good without even knowing it, because this is subconscious brain work. And they never really do anything with their lives,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
everything can come back.
Yeah. Listen, I've heard you say that the gateway drug into addiction is childhood trauma. And
100%.
when I heard you say that, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that totally resonates." Share with me and our audience, like, how trauma is stored in the mind and the body and how it manifests as addiction.
All right. First of all, I love you, Molly, because you're asking questions that nobody else has asked in 20 years of me doing this. So thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
that. This is awesome.
Good, good, good.
Um, Guys, if you've ever seen a deer hit on the road but not die, if
Mm.
you ever witnessed that, what happens is this, and it's miraculous. The deer will lie stationary for a couple of seconds, and then it'll jump up. Then it will shake violently for 2 or 3 seconds, then it'll run on. That deer has just shook all that trauma off right there and then. So who knows, tomorrow, same time, same car, it might get hit again. But the point is, it dealt with it there and then. Human beings don't do that. There's something in trauma. Now, I don't believe in big T's and small T's with addiction. No such thing. I truly believe that it's not car crashes, divorces, guys. It goes well way deeper than that. Now, here's where it gets a little bit complicated and hard to bring the trauma out of people is back in my day and still today, they normalize that trauma. Like when I was dropped off at my mom and dad's friends on Friday, where they went out for the night and picked me up Saturday with some other kids, we had to play. As soon as the car pulled out the driveway, we all had to get undressed, including 4 adults. And we ran around called Run Around Naked game. And they will tickle us and stuff. I didn't know that was massive sexual abuse. I didn't know because they
Yeah.
normalized it. So when you go back and look at trauma, it isn't the big things with addicts. It's the smallest things that we carry. So most of the trauma, subconscious, and the amygdala, it's all stood there, and the brain is very clever at keeping that away because we'd go insane if we could
Yeah.
access all that at once. So what happens is it meshes into our behavior and core belief as adults. So if a young girl is growing up in a house, she's probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and she witnesses father coming home maybe 2 or 3 times a week, drunk out of his head because he's an alcoholic, getting into a fist fight with mom, and she witnesses this. Then they all go to bed. She's crying because mom's been hurt. They get up the next morning, and dad says, "Oh, I'm sorry about last night. I love you." And mom goes, "Oh, I love you too." The child thinks that violence equals love.
Love.
And when she grows up and moves out of that house, she will attract with her energy and mind, which is energy, the same person as her father, to the extent that if she finds somebody nice, she'll self-sabotage that relationship because it doesn't feel normal.
Yeah.
That's the trauma we're talking about. And
Yeah.
people keep getting back. People love comfort zones,
Oh,
because of the
yes.
childhood trauma. We stay in jobs too long. We stay in relationships too long. We don't say anything, to anybody. It's like, I got some great news for you guys. Hey, if you're people pleasing, yes or no is a full enough answer.
That's
That's it.
right.
Are you going to there tomorrow? This was me years ago. Are you going to go to the? No, no, no. And I tell you why, because my uncle's auntie's dog, and he like, no, thank you. Oh, okay, no problems. And
Yeah.
thank you. That's a nice shirt you've got. Oh, I threw it on. It's an old shirt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Yeah.
hard for me to do.
Yeah.
So everybody has childhood trauma, first of
Mhm.
all.
Yep.
Secondly, you can 100% recover from it. And thirdly, if you don't think you have childhood trauma, you're probably one of the worst cases we're going to see.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that I focus on with my clients is helping them actually name and acknowledge and attune their emotions. Most of the people that I've spoken to were not taught how to name, acknowledge, and attune their emotions, right? We can stuff, we can numb, we can escape, we can bypass with the best of them. Do you see that same pattern in addiction? And how do you help people start to reconnect with their emotions as they're going through recovery?
So let's look at the neuroscience behind that. Yes, we do. But with the neuroscience that we know today and we've studied for so long, we're kind of the leading pioneers. I did a great piece for Harvard University's McLean Psych Hospital on this. And that is when people come to us, not only have they been through the trauma that they don't know what they're going through, but they're not sure of parts of the brain of what's happening. So when they feel sad, they can't control the emotion. That all this stuff is happening while we're going back, like you said, you're naming an emotion and stuff.
Yeah.
We explain to them when they can't regulate the emotions and they can't think. Alcoholics go, "I had a blackout, I can't think." That's the hippocampus. It's normal. So the hippocampus controls all the loss of memory and all that stuff and regulation. With childhood trauma, it shrinks. So it can't cope with it. People
Mhm.
come up and have that danger thing all the time after drinking and using. They have this horrible thing. That's the amygdala. It shrinks. It can't control that fight or flight part of the brain.
Right.
Hoping, stress. Oh my God, I'm under stress. That's the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. It's underactive. So you're not supposed to cope or get any strength from somewhere right now. I don't know what to do. I can't hold comfort. I get it. That's the anterior cingulate cortex. It's supposed to be like that. Have you been through? And the insula tends to feel tense. My heart races now and again. That's the insula again underactive. You can't control these things. So when people understand that this is normal from the stuff that they've been through, then we can start looking at the emotions. My daughter, who's my lead therapist, she was estranged for 30 years, but now she's my lead therapist in Manchester, England. She has that great wheel, the emotion wheel. Oh my God. Yes. That
I
is the
have it.
most powerful tool I've seen.
I have this in eyeline on my desk.
Yeah.
Have them all over
Yeah.
my house. They're so, so,
Yeah.
so powerful to be able to
Oh,
put
so true.
language to the feeling.
Yes.
I've literally just started using the feelings wheel like 4 or 5 years ago. And even today, I am like, okay, what is it? Where, like, I can feel in my body
Mhm,
what the emotion is. Like, I can feel the sensation, but
mhm.
I don't know the word. And so I'll pull that sucker out. I've got a favorite on my phone as well in case
Yeah.
I don't have that feelings
Yeah.
wheel, but it is absolutely an amazing tool to use.
Well,
So,
by naming something, it takes the power out of it. By
yes,
understanding somatic experience, how the body
yes,
feels and works, because the body will tell you guys probably a minute or 2 minutes before the brain understands what's going on. So the gut
yes,
feeling is real. People
yes,
goes back to the
yes,
tribal days,
yes,
So once we look at mind and body and everything that's going on, which is normal. See, when I was going through
yes.
my stuff, I thought I was the only person that couldn't stop drinking. I thought I was the only person that was crying and couldn't. No, everybody goes through it. It's just we
Yeah.
don't see it. So the understanding is, hey, I'm very sick or very depressed, with still again sick, but you can 100% get over that, and
Yeah.
100% don't get stuck on all those drugs that they're giving you. If you're taking 4 or 5 depression meds, come
Yeah.
on. I
Yeah.
look in the American dictionary for depression. It says lack of serotonin. Instead of running to the doctors for pills, why don't you ask yourself why my serotonin is low in the first place? And there's loads of ways of
Yeah.
doing that. I will never, Molly, never go to my doctor for my general health. They know nothing about that. They know absolutely nothing. So the food industry gets us sick and the pharmaceutical companies keep us sick. Nobody
Yeah.
wants you to get well in America and
Yeah.
England. Nobody wants you to get well. So wake up, America, and see what's going on, because
Yes.
the body heals from inside out. It
Yes.
doesn't heal. Have you ever been to the doctors, guys? Okay, with an ailment or disease or something, especially psych. Okay, we're talking about psych. He's give you a pill. You've taken the pill. It's cured what you have, and you never have to take the pill again. No, in the history of pharmaceutical companies, it's never happened.
No.
So you got to
Mm-mm.
stay on this drug, and after a certain time, the brain gets used to it in the central nervous system. So they give you another one to add to. Stop
Yes.
already. Take back
Yes.
your own health.
Yes.
90% of stuff that you buy from the supermarket, the body cannot methylate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's where the illnesses and disease come from. Oh, I have heart problems. Oh my God. Yeah, I got it off my dad. It's in the family. No, let me stop you right there. That's biologically impossible. Before we start, let me tell you what's happening. So you're at home, and the staple food that dad's and the family cooking, let's say, includes beans. And let's say that dad can't methylate. Because when I eat food, it's not used in the source that I eat. It has to be methylated into the source that the body can use,
Can
the
use.
nutrients and all that stuff. If I can't methylate a food or protein, like, let's say, beans, I can't methylate it. What happens is there becomes a deficiency in the body. That
Yeah.
deficiency may cause the heart. So when I leave the home and I go on my own, go to college or whatever, and later on I'm married and I suddenly have heart problems, it's because you can't methylate beans, not because you cut it off your dad. So look
Yeah.
at the methylation in the body, because this and this is ruined, man. If you pick anything up from the supermarket and you can't pronounce a word, put it back. Why does McDonald's fries in England have 5 ingredients and McDonald's here has 27? You ever ask yourself, how come you can leave a
Oh,
loaf of bread on the side and 2 weeks later it's still fresh? I get my bread from England, and after 3 or 4 days, it's done. It starts getting moldy. You can't eat it. Do you know why? Why are we
really?
just
Oh,
so? Yeah, oh,
preservatives.
yeah, a
Yes. Oh my
hundred
gosh.
percent. Oh, just we did a live TV thing a couple of months ago, and I was talking about this. Is look at the back. Always look at the label. If anything starts with canola oil or vegetable oil or rancid oil, put it back. It's killing you. But we seen this bar on the shelf, and it had 9 grams of protein and zero fat. And I'm like, guys, right on the camera, guys, you want to buy this for the family because it's good, yeah? Let's just have a look. And I took the bar and I turned it round and I put it towards the camera. First ingredient, canola oil. Second ingredient, vegetable oil. Third ingredient, GMO. It's like, it's killing you. Just got to be
Yeah.
sensible, man, because it
Yeah.
all deals into depression, anxiety, and addiction. We've traced food to addiction. Now, not alcohol. You can cure addiction. We can cure addiction.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you can, stop listening to your sponsor or whatever is telling you that. They're wrong. We have the neuroscience to back this up. You can't cure alcoholism because of the hypothalamus. But
Mm.
yeah, man, I mean, you could start your day to day, guys, listening to this. Start afresh and new. I'll give you 3 exercises later on when we finish that you can change your life tomorrow. And I mean, change it. Stop listening to these people around you. Oh, don't be so silly, Jenny. You can't start like a company and earn $1 million. The answer to any of them people is this. Says who?
That's
I
right.
opened 2 years ago, Molly, in San Antonio, Texas, right next door to my offices, a British restaurant where all the food is British people working there. The rest of everything is British made. And I got told off several people, including my financial director, that you're in Tex-Mex country, Rob. This is a bad idea. So I stuck some money in. We're in the top 12 of most successful restaurants in San Antonio. You see, it's not here, guys. It's here.
Yes.
If you can sort this out, and one of the best softwares we have is my breath. We have 4 companies. Is my breath box. It's online. It's
Yes.
headphones. It's binary beats. It's all sorts. And what
90 breath
happens?
work.
That's
90
it.
breath
That's what
work.
we
I
do.
love it.
Yeah,
It is
that's what we do.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
we
good.
created BreathBox using that software, and most of the movie stars you've seen ill over the last 3 years, I've put them through that. It's part of my program. I love it.
Oh,
But yeah, I
yes.
mean, everything can be changed from the head outwards. Stop
Yes.
listening to the naysayers, you
Yes.
know, because it
Yes.
affects us. If you ever, like, I went into the doctors a couple of days ago, me and my wife, our checkups, like I said. And I goes in there and I'm all, hey, doc, what's going on? High five. He's a great doctor. He's like me. He's like, F up, shut down. I've got some news for you. And then when he told me that for about an hour, I walked out feeling sick as if I had cancer.
Mm.
Nothing's changed in my body. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Apart from
Up here.
this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we did some research on this some 9 years ago. What happened is at the practice in Dallas, we had 2 Mr. Smiths. I don't know. One was Bill, one was John. I can't remember the first names. Anyway, they were on the same day. He used to come, one at 10 o'clock, one at 2 o'clock. So the first one came in, we're chatting away. He leaves. And my assistant came in running through the door. He says, oh my God, oh my God. John Smith, his wife has just been hit by a car, terrible accident. She's dead on the scene. I said, have they told him? Can't get hold of him. We
Oh
don't know
my
what to do,
gosh.
Dr. Robb. I said, oh my God, let me try. So I tried a couple of times and he answered. I said, hey, John, can you pull up? What are you doing? Driving, pull over. I said, listen, are you safe? Yeah, okay. I got some bad news for you. And I told him, and he was crying and distraught. He got out the car. He couldn't talk or walk. He fell to his knees. All bodily functions ceased. He was
Mm.
shaking. He couldn't cry. And I'm saying, I'm getting somebody right there to you. Hang on, we're like 20, 30 minutes. We're getting somebody there. Hang on, please. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And he's sobbing on the phone. And the next minute, I'm trying to sort somebody out to go. And my secretary almost kicked the door down as she ran in and said, we got the wrong Mr. Smith. We got the wrong Mr. Smith. I'm like, what? It's the other one. I said, you get on the phone to the other and tell her what's happened to the wife and tell him to call him. I've got to call this guy. So I call this guy. I was so embarrassed, Molly. Explain, but as you can imagine, he's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, thank you. And I put the phone down and I'm in silent in my own room, in my office. And the thought pattern came that I just changed this guy's whole life with some words
Mm.
on the end of a telephone that had a biological change and a
Yes.
psychological change with it. So if words are that powerful, what can we do on the reverse side?
Yes.
And the idea is we can do miracles, every single one of us.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Okay. I want to share a story with you. I want to share something personal about me. I want to ask you questions. So today I am 1,164 days alcohol free. Yes. And back then, so February 1st, 2023 was the first day. I originally decided I was going to take 100 days alcohol free. because I had just gotten to the end of myself, right? You've been there.
Yeah.
But here I will say at that moment, like, even looking back now, like, I don't know if I would have labeled myself an alcoholic, but what I was doing is I was every day at the end of the day, I was drinking that 1 to 3 glasses of wine to escape, numb, and ignore the misalignment that I felt in my corporate job. It was how I was coping because I didn't have the words, the name, the feelings to process that. Here's my question. Based on everything you know, would you consider me an alcoholic with that behavior?
Did you stop on your own with no help?
I'll tell you exactly how I stopped. I was scrolling Facebook and came across a reel of a friend of mine and it was obviously it was late January. And in North Texas, we had an ice storm. And she was outside in an electric blue bikini. And I was like, what the hell is she doing? So I unmuted the reel and I was listening to her, and she was celebrating being 100 days alcohol free. And she was saying how great she felt and how empowering she felt and all of the things. And then she went and jumped in a pool, and it was, below freezing in North Texas. And I had the thought, I was like, I really want to reach out to her. I hadn't talked to her in a couple of years, but I messaged her. And I'm like, I want to know what you did, like why you did it and how you felt and how hard it was and all the things. So that was the first thing that happened that day. And then the second thing that happened was one of my mentors had called me and just asked me how I was doing. And I'm like, I'm not good. I'm not good. Like, I'm drinking all the time. I'm so unhappy in my job, all of the things. And she's like, well, why don't you do 100 days alcohol free? And in that moment, I was like, okay, I'll try it. And at the time, she was like, "Will you put it on Facebook? Like, will you live out loud about it?" And I was doing a little bit of that just in my life, and I'm like, "Absolutely not, because I don't want to fail. Like, I don't want to be out there doing this thing and then
Yeah.
fail." And I did 100 days. My life completely changed in those 100 days, like completely changed, and I just never stopped.
Nice. No,
Yeah.
no, you wasn't an alcoholic. You were
Okay.
somebody who abuses alcohol. Is there
Yeah.
any, so two things I ask, is there any alcoholism in the family? If the answer is no, that's a big check of good. When
Okay.
you take the first drink, can you stop? And if the answer is yes, well, no. Alcoholism is the only self-diagnosed illness in the world. And
Mm.
alcoholism is thrown around the label. Johnny around the corner, he drinks 2 bottles of vodka a day. I've seen it. He's an alcoholic. Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's hereditary. It's someone in your family. We traced it back to fetus level, the alcoholic gene, and it skips generations, but it's there. So if you can stop with no help or nothing, then you abused alcohol, a heavy drinker, which to laymen looks exactly the same. First of all, good on you. But let me give you some neuroscience behind that.
Yeah.
And the neuroscience is that alcoholics are born with 3 parts of the brain that differ in any other person in the world ever. And they are the amygdala, the hypothalamus, and the basal ganglia.
Okay.
So let's start with the basal ganglia, which is our learning, repetition, strength, and confirms of any thought pattern. Okay, so alcoholics, you'll recognize this. This is what happens. Imagine a clock face, guys. This is how the basal ganglia works. Once we do something so many times, like a pilot needs 10,000 hours in the air, it becomes a working part of the mind. What happens with alcoholics is this: it's broken. The basal ganglia is broken. So 12 o'clock, everything's going good. 10 after the hour, we relapse. 20 after the hour, everything's going horrible. It's terrible. At half past the hour, the wife lets me back in because I'm a few days sober now. And at 22, I get that job offer or some good news that I want that I've been waiting for and
Mm.
I can't believe my luck. And at 10 to, I smash it all down again. So that needs to be repaired. And this is the most important research we've ever done. And this is our game changer. The hypothalamus is our survival part of the brain. It tells us to eat food and drink water. Otherwise, we're going to die. Everybody knows that. The brain knows that. It's protecting us. What happens with the alcoholic at a certain point of the alcoholic career, because that's what mine was, the hypothalamus hijacks the brain and tells the alcoholic to drink alcohol only to survive. So those people that can recognize that, this is why we can go days or weeks without food or water, and everything, including screaming kids and distraught wives, they go bye-bye because my brain, the survival part of the brain, is telling me to drink alcohol so I can stay alive, even though we know it's to the contrary. So the neuroscience we know today backs all up. 9 years ago, if you asked me that question, I would have gone, hell yeah, of course. But if you're going home at nighttime and having a glass or two of wine, and if you're not calling in next day and you're not having blackouts, carry on, man. I think if I could do it, maybe I would. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the neuroscience behind it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I've noticed that I feel like I've got an addictive personality.
Bang. There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So
There
like,
you go.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about how that works from a neuroscience perspective.
Sure. Well, the addictive personality can either be amazing or it can
Yeah.
be terrible.
Yeah.
So based on old behavior and childhood
Yeah.
trauma, that repetition will start again in the basal ganglia we talked about.
Yep.
But the addictive personality will repeat what we've been told and learned and stuff as a kid.
Yes. Right.
So when we're toddlers in the kitchen and mom says, do not put your hand on that stove, it'll burn you. Of course, we put our hand on it and it burns us. The first lesson the kid learns is whatever mom tells me is the truth. So as we go through life as childhood, the way we're the way we're told, the way we're treated, the behavior, the environment that we grow up in, all bodes to that addictive personality. So I know without asking you that you're either all in or you're all out. There's no middle of the road. We work with a lot of podcasters to take them up to full-time jobs in podcasting. And the ones with the addicted brain are easy. Like, we either do it or we don't. There's no gray area with us. Like, the other day, I was out with some friends. They go, hey, let's stop the basketball court. I said, yeah, I don't play. Well, come and learn. No, I'm good. Never played basketball? No. Never throw? No. Come and try. No, I'm good. Now, the subconscious and conscious brain is telling me that if I started basketball now, I'm not going to be the best in the world, so I'm not going to touch it. And it's the same with, hey, when I started my business, it's like, I want to be the best in the world. I don't want to survive. I want to be the best in the world at what I do. And I want to change the world with what we do. And, you know, all this stuff that we do for society that people don't know about, the giving back, the money, all that great stuff we do.
Yeah.
But the addictive personality, once cleared up the childhood trauma, genius, absolute genius. That's what we are.
Let's love it. I love it. Okay. Tell us the 3 things as we wrap up. Tell us the 3 things
All
that
right.
we need to know.
Listen, guys, everything's in patterns. Okay. We jump back to old patterns without knowing about it. So there was a girl in England, 69. She went missing. Somebody snatched her off the side of the street. 15 years old, blue eyes, blonde hair. It was a frenzied manhunt, couldn't find her. 9 months later, a police car is following another car down a country road that had broken light. So he pulls him over. And the question they used to ask back in the day with no radios or anything is this your car, sir? And they go, yeah, it's my car. And they would ask you, what's in the trunk? Yellow jacket, pair of boots, open the trunk. Yep, it's definitely your car. Away you go. When this guy, he was very cagey, in the open, he found a stolen screwdriver in his trunk. So now they're going back to their house to see what else he'd stolen. Sure enough, there were drills, there were ladders, there were lawnmowers. It's all stolen from the local, hardware store. When they were looking, they found this box in the corner, and it was around 4 foot high by about 12 foot wide. He denied all knowledge of it. And when they smashed, they said, we know you got more stolen stuff in here, man. You're not going to get away with us. When they smashed the lock off and opened it, there was the girl that went missing 9 months ago. Now, she was alive. He used to take her out every day, and you can imagine what he did,
Oh my
abused her and
gosh.
stuff like that, and put her back in for 9 months. When the policewoman leant over, she got this girl's hand and she helped this 15-year-old step outside the box. She took a police coat off her and she wrapped it around this little girl. What's the first thing the little girl did? She got back in the box.
Yeah.
True story. So when I say that to say this, that we're in patterns that we don't know. And most of the patterns that we don't know are self-sabotaging. Okay, so it's important that we do 2 things, or 3 things. One of the reasons nobody woke up in the morning laughing is lack of oxygen. So on a normal circadian sleep pattern, between 2 and 5 is when the body is at its lowest.
Yeah.
When the respiratory system so there's no oxygen. It's very low oxygen. It's when most people die of natural causes as well. So when we wake up, we're hypoxic situation. Well, the subconscious brain loves the hypoxic situation. So whether you like it or not, the subconscious brain wakes you up. This is the bad guy, okay? So when this is subconscious brain, and that's woke you up, okay? Unless you change that straight away, he's going to run the show all day. Stubbing your toe, having bad news. God, Dr. Laura, it's such a bad day. Was it really a bad day or 5 minutes you've strung out all day? Yeah, I thought it was the 5 minute. That's this guy. So what I'm going to tell you now gets rid of this guy and fronts in the conscious brain who thrives in oxygen. So tomorrow morning when you get up, guys, sit on the bed, or if you want to stand up, hold on to something because you will go dizzy. We only breathe 45 to 50% of our lung capacity. One of the reasons you feel great going to the gym is not the weights, it's this in between sets.
Mm.
Getting oxygen in. So sit down on your bed. I want you to take 20 exaggerated breaths in and out. Flood the body, every single cell, and it looks something like this. You'll make a silly face. If you don't, you're not doing it right. 20 times. Your body is flooded and you'll go dizzy because the brain is flooded with oxygen. Now we're in the conscious mind situation. We get up, we walk into the bathroom. I need you to stand in front of the mirror, and I need you to say this: I love you 10 times. Let's smash that subconscious brain for what it is, flood it with good stuff. Now don't stand close to the mirror. If you're doing your makeup, girl, or
Yes.
your shaving guy, there is an optical illusion that when I'm close to a mirror, I see all my blemishes. That's not how people see us, but we
Right.
think that they see us. You have a little
Yes.
spot here, everyone can see it. Nobody can see it. Nobody's watching. You're not that important. Nobody cares.
Right.
But when you stand 6 foot away from the mirror, then blemishes disappear. That's
Yes.
how people see you. I mean, let's be honest. When's the last time you went into work? Hey, Jimmy, good. We don't do that. So I need to step away and do that work. And the last one, let's change patterns around, change neural pathways. 300 neural pathways die every day in the brain. What are you replacing them with? The same old loop, or are we going to change it? If you brush your teeth with your right hand, I want you to do a week on the left, week on the right, week on the left, week on the right. We're changing and creating new thought patterns. The more positive pathways we can make, the negative almost goes, it's de minimis. It almost goes to a nothing, you know? So we have to start building this. Walk out, compliment 3 people that day. I don't care how you do it, and do things we're not supposed to do, like smile and start the conversation in the elevator. People hate me in
Right.
there. Hey guys, how we doing? We're doing good today, guys. And everyone's trying to look in a different direction and say nothing. But by the time I get to the 2nd or 3rd floor, everyone, well, I'm a 10 out of 10 today. Yes, come on, guys. And they all go out and I know they're going to have a good day.
Yeah.
Because if there's one piece of information, guys, I can give you if you want to change the world, and that is this: it's not about you.
That's right.
There are people dying in the millions of people with depression, lack of information, alcohol, whatever it is, they're dying, waiting for us to get our shit together. And we need to do this.
Yes.
And you've been chosen. If you're listening to the podcast, you've been chosen, guys, because nothing happens. Now, there's 3,000 gods. Just freaking pick one, I say, people. There's 3,000 gods, pick one. God has chosen you to do this work.
That's right.
And whatever you do, you cannot turn your back. One of the reasons that we go through all this crap is it becomes our greatest asset when we're helping people. What do you know, Doctor? You've never been checked. You've never had check. You've never checked. You want to carry on this game? Because God's put me through all of this.
All of it.
And
Yeah.
things will change, guys. A quick story. My children ages 1 and 3 were taken off me by the authorities and mom and the police. Because I'd kept them for a couple of days. I got them back with the court, and I was drunk for 2 days. They never got fed. They never got changed diapers. I nearly killed them children. So the last thing my daughter said to me was, "Daddy, please stop drinking." And I couldn't do it. And as they walked down the path, that's the last thing she said to me at 3, 4 years old. And that was it. I tried calling them. I tried Facebooking them. Nothing. And then 4 years ago, now, I'm a concierge doctor. My team sees everyday people like me, but I deal with the movie stars and the A-list celebrities. So when I'm on call 24 hours a day, I only work with 3, maybe 4 patients at once. So when the phone or buzzer goes, I've got to be up and I've got to be at the FBO within 30 or 40 minutes. That's the contract. And I've got to be on a plane and I've got to go and see them. So the buzzer, middle of the night, I looked at it and I didn't have glasses on. I looked to squinty eyes, and it was my daughter, Charlie. And she said, "Hey, Dad." She called me Dad. She says, "Hey, Dad, it's been too long. I've just seen you on TV in England. We need to see. I can't carry on like this. I don't believe everything everybody was telling me. Can you come over?" Now, obviously, I run multi-million-dollar companies, so within an hour on a plane back to England. We get there late at night. We stays overnight. We'll walk into the house the next morning. I'm crying. I'm shaking. My wife's got my hand. And I kept saying, "I couldn't do this." Because all that stuff, "What father were you? Piece of you never saw the first boys," and all this stuff. And we got to a door, and I said to him, "I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm shaking. I'm crying. I can't do it." And Charlie opens the door all of a sudden, and we grabbed each other. We cried. We laughed what seems like an hour. My wife said it was a minute at the most. And then she took me by my hand. And this is why I do this today. I'm 65. I don't need to I'm just in that place, thank God. But she walked me into a living room and she handed me my 3-month-old granddaughter. And right there, I remember thinking to myself, first of all, thank you, God. And secondly, I'm ready when you are. It cannot get better than this. So we sent Charlie back to school. She's my lead therapist. She's my NLP therapist over there. She does amazing work. And my granddaughter is now 5, and we speak several times a week. And I go over there several times a year to see them. And in July, for the first time, they're all coming over to my house, and we're going to have a great time over there. And of course, I tell you that real quick, guys, that everything comes back. Don't think it's a complete loss. And if they don't come back, it's for a reason. But if you're a father or a mother, but father, because I was, never give up on getting your kids back. Never, ever give up. I don't care what the situation is. I sent my daughters cards and little teddy bears for 30 years on their birthdays. Okay. They never got them, Molly, because my mom wouldn't give them to them, because my ex-wife said, if you give any letters or anything from Rob, you'll never see the grandkids again. So I didn't know this. She never gave them to them. And when they both passed away last year, a couple of years ago, my daughter and my sister went into the house to clean it all up. And there was a big chest in the corner. And Charlie, my daughter, said, "Hey, what's in that chest? It's probably full of granddad's clothes." And she opened it up. And there was every present I'd sent. And she just broke down. So never give up, guys. If you think you're in a horrible situation. If you're in that situation where you're sat in a broken down apartment and everybody's left you and you can't see your kids and you think that's it, and you're thinking of doing something permanent, when really it's only temporary problem, 214-600-0210 is my personal cell phone number. Text me, because I'm very busy. I'll text you back within 5 or 10 minutes and we'll arrange a 20-minute talk, me and you. I'm never going to sell you anything. I don't want your business, nothing like that. And I will change your life in 20 minutes. And if I don't, for whatever reason, it's never happened yet, I'll send you $100 for wasting your time, because the premise behind that is this, that I would rather spend 20 minutes on the phone with you than hear of your suicide next week.
Yes. Dr. Robb Kelly, thank you so much for being here. This is such a powerful episode. I'm so grateful for you. Hey, you guys, if somebody came to mind during this episode while you were listening, please send it. It could make a bigger difference than you could ever realize. We will 100% link all of Dr. Robb's information in the show notes. And lastly, if you're enjoying this show, I would be so grateful if you would take a second to rate, review, and subscribe. It helps more people find these conversations and helps me advance my mission of helping 1 million people pivot out of the funk. We'll see you next time.